Alright everybody, this is Jeremy at Hennessy's House of Reptiles. And yeah, so big things coming. I'm sweating. I've been working my butt off for the last see what time is it? Okay, 3 hours. Since about 6:30. It's about 9 o'clock, so 2.5 hours. Because apparently measuring a stick is harder than I thought it was going to be. But I'm getting an Asian water monitor soon, and I wanted to set up an enclosure for her until I can get her big enclosure built. She's less than a year old, which I talked to Tom Crutchfield, and he said that they will grow up to 6 foot in a year. This is my first time having an Asian water monitor, but not my first monitor. And I want to go above and beyond and help her out. She is at a local pet shop, and they are holding her for me, which is awesome. I'm going to be working with her every day, trying to get her to calm down and tame down. She's not like overly aggressive, but I understand that this is going to be a new environment, new home, new smells, new experiences all around. But I'm going to show you guys what I've done so far and what I plan on doing with this enclosure. And then I'm going to show you, explain to you what the plan is for the big enclosure. So, start over here. So this enclosure is 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot. I have a 40-gallon stock tank, which is going to be filtered, heated, which I have a temporary filter and a heater in there. The filter is going to get replaced with something better. That's just something so I can go ahead and have it set up when she gets here. That stick there has been a pain in my butt this whole time, because the stick was 10 foot long, and I thought, well, 9 foot should go from corner to corner diagonally. And well, you see the little chunk that I cut off there? That is what stopped me. That right there. I guess I could have made it a little longer, but it comes up to there. I'm probably going to move it over into the literal corner over here, but yeah, that has been what has been a pain in my butt. Now this enclosure, you might notice the structure a little weird. This enclosure has sat outside for 5 years empty, so there's a little bit more cleaning to do. I cleaned up a lot. There was a lot of dirt and debris in here, and spider webs and wasp nests and all that fun stuff. A couple wasp nests that I missed. But yeah, I'm going to be putting some substrate in here. I'm going to put a board across the front here. That way I have a barrier. I'm going to put a tarp over the crease so that bedding and stuff doesn't fall through. And I'm going to build a box, which that is unlevel as hell. I'm going to build a box. Oh, let me get up here. Up here in this corner, that's going to hold the heat lights. I'm going to build a platform that goes here. That way she has heat lamps, with tile to warm up. This is made entirely out of 2x4s and 1/2-inch plywood with 1/8-inch plexiglass window. The room it's in is kind of trashed. I need to clean that up before she comes home. But yeah, you can see that we've done a terrible job. This is the first enclosure I ever built, and I built it 5 years ago. And like I said, she's less than 2 foot long, so this is probably plenty size temporarily. My plan is to have her new enclosure built before Christmas. I'm going to start buying materials every week to build it. But yeah, you can tell we did not do a good job lining those up right. And did a better job on that side. But that side is clearly messed up. And to make ventilation better, we also have a crease along the top. So when it's shut, like I said, this has been closed off for 5 years. You can see the plexiglass is dirty. There's a crack down there in the corner. A little crack up here. I'm not worried about that. This here I'm a little worried about because, I don't want her pushing out of that and getting cut or escaping. But the big door, the door is 3x6, so it covers almost the whole. I don't know if you can. Yeah, it's pretty much almost the whole front. But it's big enough that I can crawl in there and hang out with her. I don't know if it's male or female. I'm just assuming. I'm just calling it a her until I can find out. But yeah, her name is going to be Shadow, and she is going to be a fun experience. Still got a little bit of cleaning up to do, as you can see. I'm not super worried about the dirt. I need to make sure there's no spider webs, no wasp nests. Finish getting those out of here. And at some point, this will look a lot better. I do eventually, because this is going to be a snake cage when it's all said and done. Because this was originally for a boa, and at the time I couldn't figure out how to heat it. I didn't want to use heat lamps. I wanted to use LED lights and use something else to heat it so she couldn't burn herself. But now I realize I can just build a box up there, have it screwed into the 2x4s that holds the lights and has mesh under it so that the lizard can't climb up in there and burn herself. And then I can build a little hide box down here in the bottom, and on top of the hide box can be the basking platform. You'll have bedding. I'll probably put some rocks in here. I'm thinking about putting a cinder block on the inside and outside so she has something to climb up and over with, because wood floats. I don't want to try soaking a piece of board for months at a time right now. Maybe in the future. Maybe if I just get bored. But yeah, so this is just temporary. She's going to end up getting a 12 foot by 12 foot by 7 foot enclosure. And in that enclosure, she's going to have a 12 by 4 watering pond. So, I'm tired. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, that's the progress. That's the plan. And I will try to update you guys as it goes on, as we do a step at a time. Because first things first, I need to build the walls and the door. Because where I'm building the cage, 2 of the walls are already made of concrete. So I don't have to build 2 of the 4 walls, which makes things a lot easier on me. Right now, I have to build it inside because where I'm located, I can't keep her outside year round. If I do, she'll freeze to death. She needs 100-degree temperatures, 85 to 90 all the time. And we have months of teens, or months of the year where it's in the teens. So she has to be indoors. Once it gets hot out, I can build an outdoor enclosure for her and she can be outside. But for now, I'm going to have her inside all the time. But that gives me a chance to work with her. I am going to buy a UV fixture and 2, maybe 3 heat lamps. And I'm going to put all of those inside of the the light box. They're going to be about 15 inches away from the basking platform. If I'm not looking at the camera, I apologize. I'm just staring off into space while I'm talking. But yeah, that's the plan. If you have any ideas, any recommendations, feel free to comment, and I will gladly read them. It might take me a while to read them. I apologize if it does. Life's crazy. I'm getting rid of 3 of my turtles because someone else wants them, and as Tom Crutchfield once said, reduce the number of animals to provide the best care you can for the animals you have. And I agree with that. The Asian water monitor has been a dream animal of mine for a long, long time. I would say at least 7 to 10 years, somewhere in that time frame, because ever since I found Camp Kennan and Slinky, I've always loved monitors. Since I've watched Steve Irwin, Crocodile Hunter, when I was a kid, and he was catching goannas. And, they're monitor lizards. Like, oh, it's awesome. Komodo dragons, those are awesome. I would really love to have a big lizard. And at the time, I didn't ever really look into them. But then, Camp Kennan, I found Camp Kennan's channel. Fantastic channel. If you really want to learn how to care for animals and love them, go to his channel. He's awesome. But his Asian water monitor, Slinky, really drove my love for Asian water monitors to an all-time high. And he pushed me to want one, but I knew at the time I could not provide even close to what they needed. So I held off. I've made mistakes in my reptile keeping career. Not a career, time frame, I suppose. I've made mistakes, and I've corrected those mistakes by taking the animals that I couldn't care for and rehoming them to people who could. Everyone that I've talked to who I've rehomed an animal to has told me what they've done. Whether or not they actually did it, I have no idea. I never went to their houses and physically saw the enclosures or the care they're giving up, but they tell me this is what they're doing, and I just have to assume and hope for the best. I know I had an alligator, and I did a terrible job keeping it. And I rehomed it after I found out how bad I was doing, and that I couldn't afford the enclosure it needed, the food it needed, so I felt horrible, so I rehomed it, and last I heard, she was doing fantastic. But with this animal, obviously I'm doing a lot better. Before, it was, most of my animals were being kept in aquariums, and I felt bad. Now I've got a custom iguana enclosure, 2 of them actually. I have a baby snapping turtle in a 40-gallon breeder tank. I've got a couple baby softshell turtles in 125, divided down the middle, so that they both have about 70 gallons each, 60 gallons each, and they're both under 4 inches long, so that theoretically is plenty, but they all will be getting their own pond in the future that's at least 300 gallons, because I love seeing them flourish, and I'm going to push myself to really get them where they need to be happiest. Luckily, most of my turtles, and once I get rid of the 3 that I'm rehoming, all of my turtles will be native species, and I might be able to get them to brumate over the winter. So I don't have to have all indoor enclosures. I can have those 4 outside, and then I can keep my snakes, my iguanas, and the monitor inside. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the plan. If you guys want us to tag along and just kind of see how progress goes, great. I look forward to seeing this journey flourish. So, see you next time.